You're going to run a late model at Nashville Fairgrounds this coming Thursday before the Cup weekend at the big track. How excited are you for that event to get back to Nashville? And do you kind of use those short track races as an audition in the free agency market? Is like, hey, this is what I can do in a race car night in and night out.
Not too much. I think first off, I'm really excited to go back there and race. I actually went Thursday and ran a handful of laps, and it was really cool to come back there and experience that again. Like I said, it's been close to 15 years now, I think, since I've raced anything there. So that's exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun racing there and doing that. But yeah, I think to me it's just fun more than anything, especially that. That's more of a bucket list type race for me, to go back there and race. And, hopefully we have opportunity to win too.
Ross, you'll run a late model for Rackley Thursday night at the Fairgrounds before the Nashville Cup weekend. How excited are you for that, and what are your expectations that night?
Yeah, super excited. The Fairgrounds track is one that I've wanted to race at since I was 12 years old and was Googling other races and like late model races and pro truck races around the country, trying to see what other people were doing and looking at their bodies and trying to see like what different classes did for setups. And you could just, not that I could talk to anybody, but I was just looking at pictures, and the Fairgrounds is one that would come up. And then once I got more into the sport and obviously my Nashville ties with Trackhouse, we talk a lot about Nashville and spend a lot of time there. So it's been on my bucket list and one that I went and wanted to have happen. So I put together the program with Rackley War and Tootsie's and Trackhouse to let me go do that. So it's gonna be a cool moment when I finally pull on track there. It's 12-year-old Ross will be really excited.
What we need for the speed and all that to do it. So yeah, I guess to answer your question, my goal for what I'm working on next year is to have that opportunity at the cup level to feel like we can win races every week.
Custer said that it's better to take a cup ride, even if it's not competitive, just to stay in the game. Do you believe that? I mean, or do you tarnish your reputation more not being in something that you can win in when most of the guys that are at the cup level have won wherever they've come from?
It's interesting. Well, you tell me. Who are you going to talk about more at the end of the day? Are you going to talk about the guy who's running 28th? Or are you going to talk about the guy who's winning? I mean, that's how I got to where I did, right? Because every time I jumped in something else, I'd win. And that was ultimately, that was the name of the career, even outside of this, was, even when it was a rough patch in the modifieds, I was winning everywhere. Everywhere else that you can't point your finger on when somebody's winning races like that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of it, at the national level, it's tough because sponsorship is, there's a lot of things that it takes to go do these races. It's not, it takes a lot of money. It takes, and all those things. So I think it just comes down to so much more than just that. But I don't know. It would, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to answer. Yeah, it's really difficult. But at the end of the day, I think right now in the Cup Garage, it's so different than it was 10 years ago. When you look at these cars, the parts and pieces, everything's there. It's people. It's it's the will to win, the want. So I'm not. You could have Sunday, Rick Ware. They've been doing a great job with everything they're doing. If everything goes right for them, your pit stops are all good. They can win. And that's a team where they started and they built it all the way up. So they've done a really good job. But it's just everybody. I don't think there's really any team in this garage that, if everything worked out, they could win. Thank you. Yeah.
Ryan, welcome back. I talked a little bit to a couple of the local guys about what this track means to them, what it means to racers in the region. So many of you guys have the opportunity to really show what you can do here. How important is this track in your own career and getting to where you are today?
Yeah, so for me, it brings, as far as New England goes and how we race fans are up here, and even just sporting events in general, this is it. There's, Connecticut, Massachusetts, up Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, this is our track, and it's all probably within 2.5 hours for a lot of them. So you get a lot of people that really love coming out here. And for me, I grew up coming here when I was a little kid. I rode my bike around and went down the merchandise trailers and all that. So just a lot of memories. I mean, it's like when I drive up here, it's like driving home. I know all the roads. So for me, yeah, it's really special.
Any advice you give Justin today for his Xfinity start?
Yeah, no, we've gave him plenty of advice in our little group chat, but no, he's going to be just fine. I'm sure he wishes that he would have been able to get practice and qualify and do all those things, but they've definitely got a really fast car, I'm sure, for him, and he's going to do a great job as a driver. So I'm sure it's going to go well.
You got your win, you got your opportunity with Gibbs at first. For them to take note, not just of New England-based guys, but modified guys, and give you guys that opportunity. How important is that for you guys to be noticed, I guess, in that way?
Well, I think, I mean, one thing that I've noticed around the country when people look at the Northeast type modifieds, they kind of, I don't know, they look at them in such a different manner. They don't look at them equivalent to a super late model or, something of that nature, where up here in the Northeast, these are full-blown, like, badass race cars. And it takes a lot to drive them. You can't, I don't think in my years of racing a modified, as far as having a perfect race car, you got to drive the hell out of them to go fast. So that's really what's fun about them. And yeah, I think you got to be able to wheel it.
Is that kind of what sets you guys apart when you continue to climb the ladder?
I think what sets us apart is our willingness to get rough if we have to. We know how to do it. I mean, sometimes we can overstep it, but we know how to get rough if we want to.
Taking that to the Cup Series, how much have you been able to take away from that modified? That is it more? It's obviously more of a mindset than a car setup at this point, but like I said, modified.
Yeah,
this is a very competitive division. So
yeah, the cars are really light, and they slide around quite a bit. So you just got to drive them really hard, and I think it's just a different type of feel.
So do you learn it? What can you take from your time in modifieds to Cup, and would you ever consider running modifieds full time again?
I mean, I'm sure I could. I don't intend on doing anything like that right now. The modifieds, that's a hobby series for a lot of us. Justin owns his own business. Doug Kobe is a champion. He's a really great real estate agent. All those guys, this is something we've done all our lives, and we love doing it on weekends, right? And then the ones who own those race cars, they work for, if they own their own company, or they work a day job, and then they go and work on their race car. So it's really different from some of these other series, but a lot of passion up here. So I don't know. I'm sure one day I'll go race modifieds here and there. I enjoy doing it, but right now my plan is to succeed at what I've always tried doing.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.